Welcome back to New York Living. So the average age for girls to reach puberty here in the United States has been dropping for decades. It's now about the age of 10,
oh my gosh,
according to research. Yeah.
Okay, and that's on average, remember, so we could have younger, older. For many girls, it can start even at 8 or 9 years old, so that's why our next guests realize these girls need products, especially for them.
Sana Clegg and Fiona Simmons created Pinkie, a fast-growing puberty company mixing organic cotton period pads, custom-sized to fit teens and tweens. Thank you so much for coming to New York Living.
I'm so glad to be here.
This is an important subject. I think even just 3 years ago, we might not be talking about this on live television, but here we are. So thank you for your service. You're both moms.
Yep.
Both from New York City.
Yes.
Between the two of them, they have 7 kids.
Oh, what? God bless you.
And in all their free time, they disrupted an industry. How did you realize, what was the moment that you realized you were going to do this, and where did you go from that moment on?
So it started because, I have 2 daughters, and one of my daughters, this was probably towards the end of 2019, so pre-pandemic, was reading the Babysitter's Club, and it mentioned period. So of course she asked me, what's a period? And so we had the chat, and she was actually really excited about it, and it's really nice to see that. And so I went to the drugstore just to see, okay, well, what's out there for you?
Yeah.
And there was nothing. It was like the same things that I used when I was young.
From the 90s, the same, no innovation.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't it? And so I'm like, well, wait, like we have all this innovation and all different types of products in the femcare space, and then there's nothing with girls, like you said, the age is getting younger, there was nothing. And so I saw Sana, we were friends, our children were at preschool together, and so I saw her out one day, and I said,
it was a cocktail party, yeah.
And
So if she has 2, you have 5.
No, she
she
has
has
3,
2
I have 4.
girls.
You have 4.
Together we have
Yeah.
5 girls.
We can't forget about the boys as well.
Yeah.
We do have boys. And so I raised it with her, and she's like, we have to do it.
Yeah,
I love this little meet cute for you guys.
Yeah, thank you. And so, it was a pandemic, our kids were Zooming. We say there were 3 Zooms going on in my house, 3 in hers, and we were Zooming. We're like, let's create this product. But the pandemic actually provided this nice time for us to really do research and reach out to factories and get samples. And we got some great samples. We custom sized our pads to fit young girls. So our smallest size, which is the yellow, we call that the mini, that fits girls as young as 8, so 8 to 10, and the blue is 10 to 12.
What are your backgrounds?
Oh, very varied. So we both did finance. I worked at JP Morgan for 5 years, and then I made a switch into fashion PR. And was a little bit of an entrepreneur for a little while until this idea came.
And I was actually in television news reporting before business school, and then I was in investment banking before this.
So everything
Smart
together.
Everything came together.
Yeah.
I know.
So obviously, if you're manufacturing a new product, you have to test it somewhere.
Yes.
Before you're putting it out to the masses.
Right.
So walk us through the process that you have this idea, you have all your Zooms during the pandemic when you have the time to journey into this new endeavor. So then what happens, what were the nuts and bolts of it? Bleeding from then to now.
We have the 4 girls between us, so we decided, like, where are the girls getting their periods? It's during school, most girls, because you get your period when you're not generally at home, because you spend more time at school.
Sure. Right.
So we reached out to some schools in the tri-state area, and we called the school nurses, and we told them to put our products in the bathrooms and offer it to girls who were coming in, like a 5th grader, a 10-and-a-half-year-old who needed pads, and lo and behold, the nurses were calling us. They're like, the girls are hoarding the pads, they're taking them home, they can't get enough. The moms are calling me, where can we buy them? And at that time, we were just on our website.
Yep.
And then,
So the demand just skyrocketed.
skyrocketed.
Now, obviously, these things cost money too, but what's interesting in our research about you guys is you kind of pivoted and you brought the males into the situation, which I love.
We did. So we went out. So in the very beginning, we bootstrapped everything.
Oh my gosh.
Because we wanted to see whether there was something there. Is it just us? And so we got great feedback. And so we thought, okay, to really scale this, so we're in Target now. And so you need money to really handle the volume of that type of retailer. And so we went out to go raise money. And at first it was difficult, but then we realized, wait, a lot of these investors, and most of them are male, just because those are the numbers. And they were dads of girls. And so the dads of girls got it. And so we were oversubscribed in our round. We raised $1 million. Oh my God. And so and especially right now, it's a really difficult funding environment.
Yeah,
so
right.
we were very excited. And it speaks to, it's not just the moms, it's all the caregivers.
That's right.
Who want to
Yeah.
be part of the conversation.
That's
But we did ask them to take the product back to their dinner tables. We said, before you make a decision, take this back to your daughters and your wives back at home and then come back to us. And that's when the round started gaining a lot of traction.
What advice do you have for any, real quick, women who are trying to get into the space and become entrepreneurs?
You know, the first thing is you have to have a product that actually works
Yes.
and does what you say. So it's our pads are absorbent, they're actually small sized.
Right.
You have to stick by like what you're selling.
Stick by what you're selling. You two obviously did, and you're so successful. Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you so
joining
much
us.
for having
and
us.
disrupting the space. Where
We
were they when we were
appreciate you
kids?
in more ways than one. Thank
right.
you so much.
We'll
Stick
be
with us. We're going to be right
Thank
back.
you.